working to restore economic prosperity in Delaware. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me this hour is ChipFlowers. He is the Delaware State Treasurer. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me today.
Let's talk a little bit about the role of your office, because you're working to actually redefine that role, and you've actually changed the name of the office. Why so?
Yes, we are working to really redefine the role of this office. Traditionally, the treasurer was just really there to kind of manage the money a little bit and kind of cut checks and do things of that nature. But we believe that this office, and I campaigned on this platform saying this office has an important role of really working with the governor, the lieutenant governor, all the administration, and the General Assembly to restore economic prosperity. The Treasury's role now is really to help the Delaware financial system, and I think that should have been the role for this office for an extended period of time. So we are really getting engaged in these initiatives because, as many of you know, that we have an economic issue in Delaware as far as the financial markets. At least, you know, we've all heard about Wilmington Trust, and obviously the small businesses are having trouble getting capital. So really, we believe that the Treasury can use state funds to really help ease lending in Delaware and use Delaware funds and Delaware banks. And yes, we've changed the names because before it was the Office of the State Treasurer. And it's not about me. It's not about the person at the top of the organizational chart. Rather, we think that this office should be called the Delaware State Treasury because it's about the role that this office has within the framework of government. So we're very proud that we changed that name, and I think we're testing it out for a year, so we're interested that people don't like that name, but so far so good.
Now let's talk a little bit about some of the efforts toward modernization and working to modernize some of the financial efforts undertaken through your office. What do they include?
Sure. I think the key thing that we had to deal with when I first arrived in the office was the fact that we didn't really have a lot of systems to monitor the state's portfolio, and I think that in this day and age you have to be on top of things. The world markets move constantly, and as you know, it's kind of a 24/7 job that you have to make sure that you're monitoring the financial markets. So first thing we did, we implemented some financial systems to make sure we can watch economic activity, and also I created an Office of Economic Policy so we can look at how economic activity is impacting the financial markets in Delaware. And that's very critical. I tell people that when I first walked in, there was a little small television, and that was the Treasury's window to watching financial activity. So we quickly had to change things around because I think people in Delaware deserve the best, and we're going to give them the best.
So how do outside factors outside of the state of Delaware, both nationally and internationally, impact finances here? I'm thinking of things happening right now in the Middle East, things happening with foreign oil. What does that mean for Delaware and Delawareans and their money?
You know, it's amazing. Most office holders get 90 days to kind of get coffee and kind of find things. You know, when I walked in the office, we had, of course, the crisis in Egypt. We had, of course, the Wilmington Trust situation. We had the oil situation now in Japan. And of course, our thoughts go out to all the families that are suffering as a result of tsunami. So, you know, it impacts the fact because the states has investments in various different products. And generally, the states Delaware has a very conservative portfolio, but no portfolio is 100% immune from world factors. So we're constantly moving. I'm constantly getting updates. And in the middle of the night, I'm constantly up checking markets because, you know, no longer in a day is this a 9-to-5 job. The markets are moving constantly. When you're asleep, the Asian markets are moving. So the state's portfolio, but we take protective actions, and I think we've done an excellent job of making sure that your money and Delaware's money is safe and sound.
How do you see the role of this office as it relates to working to restore and enhance economic prosperity in Delaware?
Sure. This office has a very important role. I make no bones about it because the Treasury has to be a treasury. Just like the U.S. Treasury Department is instrumental in the economic impact of the nation at large, this Treasury is instrumental in how things are going to move in Delaware. You know, we have $1.8 billion, and the way that we can move that money and shift things around, you know, currently a lot of it is sitting in banks that lend it outside of the state, and I'm not happy about that. We need to get that money within the state of Delaware so we can make sure that the banks in Delaware have money to lend to small businesses. It's not enough to just talk the talk and say I'm pro small business. No, we have to be out there actually putting our money where our mouth is and making sure we're getting these markets moving so consumers and small businesses can walk into a bank and get their loans approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We've been talking with the Delaware State Treasurer, ChipFlowers. I'm Jill Horner.